People think startup land is like a year, 2 years. What are you at, 6?
Yeah, it's like 6 years. There's no like finish line. I'm always learning.
And one of the SDRs mentioned X, and Freddy then stopped him. And that level of insight that he was able to give, from there, that SDR's kind of gone 10X.
Freddy Galindo spent 6 years building SprintSuite from a family mining business into a funded SaaS platform, serving some of Australia's biggest mining contractors, and is now expanding globally.
Development now is a commodity, like it's cheap. Where we're investing more is into our people, flying people out to actually learn what our customers can do. That's something we can afford to do now because development's cheap. The way we do prospecting is we drive around.
Yeah.
Like we literally like driving around taking photos of like companies because you can't find them on like Google Maps or like Sales Navigator.
If you're building a product for a non-tech vertical and trying to figure out how to actually sell it, this conversation is for you.
Welcome to the Revenue Leaders Podcast. We're very honoured today that we have somebody that I've had the privilege of working with for a number of years, Freddy Galindo Jr., who is the founder of SprintSuite. And today we are talking about the origin story, where it all started, where it is today, and where it's going. So welcome to the Revenue Leaders Podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's so exciting. And look, we haven't really met apart from today, so it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
The origin story, can we start there? Because I'd love to learn a bit more about you and how SprintSuite came about.
But just before, like, how good is it that we've actually got another expert and not Dave? We got a few Dave.
Sorry, yeah, we're 30 seconds in, so we have to offend one of us.
I've seen it's like a theme, right? It's like,
Yeah, we have to.
You can't sell.
It's
And
compulsory.
you know what? We came up just before you came in. We did this recording, and he's like, because he's been busy. We gave him this because our platform's sort of ready to rock and roll. And we gave him this great spiel, and he's done all this great work. He's like, well, I haven't really coded anything. I've just managed the coders. I'm like,
So you haven't done anything.
You haven't done anything.
So why have you been busy?
that's great. Unlike Freddie, who codes, he sells, he goes on the road. Like, do you want to work for us, man? We were trying to.
Yeah, I'll swap out with Dave.
Anyway, so now that we've slagged Dave off, tell us about you, Freddie. Tell us about SprintSuite.
Yeah, so I guess it all started back in our family business. So we used to own a mining services company. So pretty much what we did there was we serviced businesses like Rio Tinto, BHP, FMG. We'd send guys out to site, so like your fitters and stuff like that, to work on big machinery. I remember first day rocking up to the family business, and they took me through all their processes. Basically, there was just manila folders everywhere, spreadsheets and stuff like that. And I just remember speaking to one of the supervisors and asking, what if I just delete this spreadsheet? What happens? And he's like, the whole business just goes to shit. So like I kind of went along with it for about a year, and then it became apparent we spent more time like managing the process instead of managing the business. So naturally went out, looked for like software that you'd think you'd Google like mining contractor software and something would pop up, but there was nothing. So we tried like a few things, but we'd had to sort of change our business to suit the software, which doesn't really work in mining. You have to operate a specific way. So then from there, we decided to sort of build something ourselves, and very quickly grew because there's a lot of other companies that have the same problem. So
Yeah, I think so. I'm from a mining town myself, Broken Hill, where BHP started. I actually worked on that mine. I think like several generations before me also worked on that mine. And as soon as you said the folders, I could see them in my head in the workshop. And then just this clunky old SAP system. And it really was only meant for mining, and it was very, very painful. So
Well, I'd love to know, because obviously we've been part of the journey from kind of day one, right? When you were just in the one company using SprintSuite to now, so many companies all over Australia and soon to be all over the world. Talk us through, like, when you first started, how did you start getting your first lot of customers? Like, what was the strategy? What were some of the challenges, and how did you overcome it?
It was all through our network, really, because we're in a day-to-day, so we speak to a lot of other companies that have the same sort of problem. So day one was a lot of me trying to figure it out as you go, trying to sell it, which I probably wasn't the best person to do it. It was basically through our network. So it's just finding out other people that have similar problems and sort of getting in front of them and sitting down with them and seeing how we can help their business with the system. So pretty much a lot of outbound to sort of get started.
Which is interesting, because still a lot today of your pipeline is still outbound driven.
Yeah, 100%. It works. Like we align the way we sell to how our customers buy. So they're used to buying a specific way. So like recently we're transitioning more to face-to-face just because that's how they're used to sort of buying. They're used to like, oh mate, walking through the door and she's like, hey matey, go in, have a beer and sit down and go through that. They're not really used to traditional sort of SaaS where you're more on Teams and stuff like that. They're sort of used to that face-to-face sort of form rapport and that's sort of what they appreciate.
Well, we had, or say we, I mean, the team had the biggest month of appointment set, right? Last month.
Yeah, that's right.
Using that in person and it's going to translate to probably the biggest month in revenue this month or new revenue acquired.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just something we're doubling down on. I think like during COVID, everyone thought like after COVID, it was like Teams is the way to go. And it just seemed like that was the norm. But I think with sales, it's important to have that face-to-face sort of component to get on a plane and actually fly out. So we're encouraging people to actually get out more and get in front of people.
I love that because we always talk about like meeting your audience where they are. And so really that means Kalgoorlie.
Exactly. We always like try to get like a fishing trip in when we go to like sort of town. So like make an event of it. But no, it's fun. So,
fair enough.
But it's important, I think, just it's a testament, right? Because not often we talk to organizations that haven't gone to that level of detail of understanding their target enough to go, well, how do they really want to engage with us? Like many companies will set up their sales process and say, hey, buy how we sell. But what you've picked up is this is a different market. A lot of them don't have robust websites, right? They are kind of, they're not the most digitally savvy businesses. How have you adapted the business to sort of engage with that type of audience, given you're so tech savvy?
Well, it's funny you say that. Like a lot of them don't even have websites, right? Like the way we do prospecting is we drive around. Yeah. Like we literally like driving around taking photos of like companies because you can't find them on like Google Maps or like Sales Navigator or anything like that. So like I mentioned before, we're just trying to align our selling process to align the way they buy. They don't buy through digital sort of mediums and stuff like that. So it's just trying to be more traditional in terms of the way we sell.
If we were to deep dive a bit on that, like you wouldn't have naturally known that, right? That the face-to-face you said around the COVID, what were some like hard learnings along the way where, you've gotten to this place of like great success now, which is amazing. But if we go back in this journey, what have you learned in, iterations of going to market that you're like, oh, this didn't work or this was an absolute game changer?
It's a good question. I guess like early on, you're really trying to figure it out, right? It's just like you're trying everything to see what sticks. Early on, we'd try some, virtual sort of meetings. I think probably to answer your question, I think deep down inside, we knew the way we had to sell, but because I come from mining, right? Like tech is different. So you think you'd have to sell a specific way to sort of get to your customers. And something we learned very quickly was we need to sort of align to our vertical and sort of double down in that sort of space in terms of the way we're sort of conducting our business. Lean away from like a tech sort of business and lean more into like a mining contractor. So a lot of that, what we do and a lot of our culture is set up to align with how our businesses, our clients sort of run. So it's something we had to like learn along the way. And I think it was just more sort of understanding that very quickly. And also like something early on is just the ability, like you're a startup, right? So you're just used to saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way. Like a hard lesson was like maybe learning to say no a little bit more. Like you just see a sale come through the door and you're like, yeah, we'll take it on. Where I think it was like learning to really double down in our space and align with what we're trying to do.
And what I found really from my perspective, Reegs, I'm not sure if I shared this with you, but we're doing a bit of a session with the SDRs. So they've got a few new SDRs and we were doing a bit of a call block that day and one of the SDRs mentioned X and Freddy then stopped him and said, hey, like this is the life of, and that level of insight that he was able to give to say, hey, this is the use case. This is how they operate. This is how they think, and et cetera. From there, that SDR's kind of gone 10X. Yeah. Right. So now that you've sort of seen the impact of your perspective on the industry, what are you doing differently now that you're expanding lead sources, channel partnerships? Like how are you going to learn from the past of kind of did everything. But now that you got very clear on really who you're serving and what you're doing, how are you going to make sure that your marketing and messaging will have that translate?
Well, I guess on that point with the SDRs, I guess something that we do is not conventional, is we've got a budget aside for getting our people out to our clients. Like a lot of SDRs kind of get neglected because they're like, you know, top of funnel. They're just juniors usually sort of learning how to sell, but we sort of invest in that. So we're actually flying out our SDRs to go meet our clients and sort of get hands-on and actually see what they actually do.
I love that.
Because it's a bit hard. Like you're trying to sell something you've never seen before, right? It's like, we solve X, but what is X? It's like, I've never done it before. So we don't want it to seem unnatural when they're on the phone. We want it to sort of come from places like, hey, I've actually gone out to site. I've got on a plane. I've gone out and experienced what these people have to experience. So I can sympathize with what you guys want to do. And I think that's a challenge with tech. It's, you try to scale a team and it's just about scaling. Just get like heaps of salespeople and just give them a script and go. But there's no genuine sort of back and forth there with your customers. So I think that's something we're doubling
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing more powerful than being absolutely dressed to the nines in PPE in 45-degree heat out on a mine site talking to your client.
Exactly.
I love that though, because I know that mining, you do need to speak like the same language in a way. You need to be able to empathize with what their entire environment is like, correct? So I think that sitting at a desk does not give you that insight as an SDR. You really do need to visually see, how big those trucks are. Like the wheels are incredible. You know, all of the nuances that come with mining. Before you can actually truly, I guess, convey that message with strength.
Yeah, it's almost a culture.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
I remember we took one of our product team out to site and he was wearing like brand new boots that he just bought. And we're about to walk into a client's office and it was like a workshop out in the Pilbara. And I'm like, dude, dirty your boots. And he's like, what do you mean? I just got them. I'm like, no, just dirty your boots. And he didn't listen to me. And we walked in and straight away the general manager just looks down at his boots and goes, first time on a mine site, mate? Like, it's just a cultural thing you don't understand unless you're in it. So that's why we sort of encourage people to get out there and just really understand how they work.
My mind straight went to like, oh, are they still capped at least?
But it's interesting because, I think we can all get caught up in this whole vibe coding. You can code everything in a day, right? And what you're talking about, essentially from my perspective, is you might be able to code a product, but there's one thing coding a product and actually building rapport with the audience that you're serving, right? Because what you've got deep understanding, and now what you're trying to do is make sure people from product, SDRs, AEs, customer success, they're all, going on site to see what's happening in their life. I mean, how important is that, moving forward for the business as you continue to grow?
Well, you're 100% right. Like,
pardon the interruption. I'm Luigi, one of the co-hosts here at Revenue Leaders. You'll notice we don't run sponsors or ads on Revenue Leaders.
This show is free. Our goal is to help you grow revenue and build your sales system that you can rely on. We do have a favour to ask though.
If this episode gives you one clear idea that you can use, do these two things. First, share it with one person, a founder, a revenue leader, or a rep who wants to grow their business. Just one. That's how the show grows.
Second, grab free access to our vault over at coachpilot.com/vault. Inside, you'll get the frameworks, templates, and short courses we use with clients to help them scale pipeline and increase win rates.
So the deal is simple. If you get value, share the episode with one person and go to coachpilot.com/vault to get the tools to put this into action. All right, let's get back to it.
AI's changed everything, right? It's like the moat before for SaaS was it's hard to build product. That was the thing that set you apart, is like how many engineers can you get? But now with AI, it's you can build product really quickly, but that's not what we're selling. What we're selling is reducing their risk, right? It's like you're a mining contractor. Every day is reactive. The last thing you want to do is change your processes overnight and your whole business goes to shit.
Yeah.
So it's important for us when we're actually looking at what we're selling. It's what problem are we actually solving? And I think it's easy to just build a product tomorrow, but if it's not actually solving a specific problem, then it doesn't make sense. And it's everything that comes around it. It's how we support them, how we sell to them, how we understand what their problems are, how we align with their day-to-day. They want to align with a company that actually understands them, not just a faceless product that someone just built overnight as well. So
like say I'm a mining contractor, because you obviously want to expand, like, you know, if I could think about what sort of pains you're alleviating for me, what does that look like? If because these, particularly mining, don't buy tech that often. You know, how do you talk to that persona? You know, not the feature side, but like how do you show that you solve their problems?
From a place of understanding, because we've lived it. The reason why they don't buy tech often is because the way they operate is basically dictated by the mine site. So the mine site tells them how they want to operate, which is very different to what we call like retail trades. So like plumbers and electricians and stuff that you guys probably, you know, interact with on a daily, they can operate very different to a plumber that has to go on site. So when we're talking to them, we're very much coming from a place that's like, we understand your problems. We understand you're coming from a place that's got high compliance, a lot of red tape to get people out to site. We know why you've got this process, right? It's like you've had to change so many times, so you just like stuff it, just get a piece of paper and just put it down, or just get a spreadsheet because it works. We're not here to like change that. We're here to make sure that you can keep operating, but actually getting more efficiency. So stop managing the process and start managing your business.
I love that. I love that.
Hey, and you've obviously we've known each other for a while, and you've had a few businesses, right? This is not your first rodeo, but given some of the experience you've had, you've been successful in building a profitable business. You've raised capital, which is amazing. Looking to go offshore next, but if you could go back, like if you're looking back and do it all again, what's one thing you would have done differently after learning everything that you have today?
That's a good question. Probably invest more into what we're doing at the moment. I think I took it for granted with the information that came naturally to myself. I think the way that we sort of hired people wasn't done the best possible way. And I think it comes back to the opportunities thing, right? I was still trying to find our feet. I think we're just trying to say yes to every opportunity that came through the door, and we weren't really like identifying what was working. It's funny because we met like early on when I had that digital marketing agency, and the way I met Luigi was we ran like a Facebook ad for websites, and we're like, we're going to get heaps of leads and we're going to get heaps of sales. And I think you inquired about the ad, but we didn't get back to him for like 2 months. Like, like, we called him up and we're like, hey, thanks for inquiring. And you're like, what? Like, what is this about?
About it by then.
And then you realize, and you're like, dude, I inquired like 2 months ago. And you came in and you're sort of helping us from a sales thing. And I think we took the sales side as like for granted. We were just like, it's a whatever thing. Like we'll just put up an ad and people will inquire, but we don't need to sell to them because the product would sell itself. So like if I'd redo it all again, it's like really invest into like setting up like a proper sort of sales engine that we can scale. But yeah, that was a hard lesson learned. I think we lost like heaps of leads.
It was a long time ago.
But it's funny though, because like you're such the expert in mining services that you've helped build out a whole solution around solving the process problem. But then to that point, you completely forget about the other processes in your own business.
Yeah, exactly. This is normal, right?
Because it doesn't come natural, right? For a lot of founders, there's a founder-led. Like we see this story all the time, right? The founder-led, really good at understanding product. I mean, you personally knew the experiences, but now you've realized the importance of now transferring that information from your head to your team and going, well, it's not just transferring it because we've built the playbooks. It's about they need to actually experience it because if a seller can really experience, and I know Mark Roberge, the founding CRO of HubSpot, spoke about this a lot, sales acceleration formula. He spoke about early days at HubSpot. He wanted his people to build landing pages. He wanted his people to really understand the marketers, what the day in the life of a marketer looks like. Yeah. Because then that conversation they had or they would have is completely different, right? And so I think, for me, hearing that and seeing the impact, talking to Louis when he gets back from Perth and saying, mate, going on site, talking to them can completely change the perspective.
Yeah, really practice what you preach. That's something I've learnt from you too, is that like if you're going to tell someone to go do something, you have to make sure you know how to do it first.
Absolutely.
To your point, like, you're growing and it's incredibly exciting. If we were to, you've had a look back in the rear vision mirror, looking forward, what does success look like in 3 years? If you were 3 years time, what makes that successful? What do you want to see happen with your business?
I guess for us, it's obviously continuing growing and really double down in the mining contractor space. I think it's like in the next 3 years, obviously we're expanding overseas. So we're looking to expand into the Canadian sort of market, which brings its own challenges. It's learning a completely different market, completely different way of operating things. So it's taking what we've learned and being able to sort of replicate it there as well. And it's just continuing to sort of just scale in terms of what we've done sort of to date. AI has sort of changed everything. So we're having to sort of adapt the way we do things very quickly. And we're in a good position. Like mining contractors are usually, 12 to 24 months behind in terms of anything that's happening tech-wise. So I go out to site and I've asked them, like, do you use AI? And they're like, nah, mate, I don't use AI. Like, that's something my missus does. She does the ChatGPT thing. I still use spreadsheets. So I'm like, oh, okay, like we can really position ourselves to be a leader in this sort of space and sort of hold their hand and say like, hey, come with us on this journey in terms of where tech's going. So we see ourselves sort of transitioning more to like, not just the tech side, but advisors as well and sort of helping them sort of transition in terms of where the new world's going.
Yeah, that's
so. Do you fear it? Like I speak to a lot of people and sellers, leaders, like people fear. They really do. You get two kind of people really fear it or they're embracing it. Do you fear that AI and the ability for platforms to be built, are you fearing that could stop you, or what's your position on this?
It's like a love-hate relationship with AI. I don't think so. I think there's going to be winners and losers in the space that's happening at the moment. Like we saw what's happening with the SaaS market, right? It's like everything's crashing.
Yeah.
But I think it's now the winners are going to be the ones that are servicing a specific vertical.
Yeah.
Because that's something you can't replicate. It's like the knowledge of actually doing the work is the thing that someone can't replicate it. Development now is a commodity. Like it's cheap. Like that's something that you're not going to invest in. Where we're investing more is into our people. So like I said, like flying people out to actually learn what our customers can do. That's something we can afford to do now because development's cheap. So we can invest in different sort of areas of our business. It's not just about this product. It's about everything that comes around the business itself. Like how do we service our businesses? How do we help them grow and sort of excel? Because a system's a system at the end of the day, but it's everything that comes around it. The way I see it is just like we're just diverting our funds. It's like before you just double down in engineering, now it's doubling down into sales and customer success and everything like that. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I actually like that. You're diverting funds from a cost center that was quite high previously to now. And I do love, and I have a very similar viewpoint, right? Like going deep in knowledge on that vertical will be the winner. Because it's one thing just creating a platform. It's another thing truly understanding how it fits and how it works. And look, one of the last things I want to ask, like if there's a founder that's thinking about starting a business today, obviously so much is happening in the world. What's one piece of advice you could give that person?
That is a tough question because I'm still sort of like in the journey myself. So
it's interesting. Actually interesting you say that because you've been at this journey for like quite some time. Like if people think startup land is like a year, 2 years. What are you at, 6?
Yeah, it's like 6 years. But I see it as a journey. Like there's no like finish line. I'm always learning. Like I'm learning like every single day. I think I was going to give someone advice is be coachable. I think that's something that founders don't do. They not pretend, but they think they know a lot and they go into it going like, I know everything, but you need to go in it as a sponge and just like learn as much as you can because I see a lot of the times like businesses fail just because their egos get in the way.
Yes,
it's like,
100%.
they don't want to listen or they don't want to learn or they just think they know everything and then they make mistakes. And it's like, why make the mistakes? Just like listen to the people that are around you have done it before and just learn from them. That's something I've learned, and that's probably advice I'd give to other founders is just be coachable.
Yeah, that's so good. Especially like I've found that, you know, sometimes it's not even the people that have done it before. It might even be someone in your team that can give you an idea. Like you're not going to come up with 100% of ideas either. So, you know, to be open to feedback and but then, to be able to grow, like you can't be so narrow-minded that you are the only expert in the room always.
Did you see that? Because all the people that come to our Growth Forum community sessions, Aaron, Louis, like every team
they're awesome.
member,
Growth mindset.
You can see that.
Yeah.
You know? Aaron's constantly, I'm changing this. Can you have a look at this? And he's just constantly evolving his sales process, which is pretty incredible.
And a huge credit to you. You've cultivated that team of having this unreal growth mindset. And then, you know, there's times where we've spoken on Growth Forum on a particular topic, and whoever's kind of leading it, they'll actually reach out to each of us individually and be like, hey, you said this. Can you help me on this one part? Like, I think we can get better here. So
Aaron's a good pest.
Yeah. They're always looking for that 1% though, aren't they? So I love it.
He's good. He's the one. If I look at all the people that I've coached, I have my favorite type of people that I coach is the one like Aaron, because they are absolute want to learn, but they'll take action. Yeah. And for me, they're the ones, and they're not, the ego is not holding them back. And even sometimes when they're like, but they stop and think, and I love that. And
so, if you can change your mind within 30 seconds, right? Like, I completely get that.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
So where can our listeners find you? What's the best place for them to engage if they want to ask a question?
Probably just go to our SprintSuite pages. So just on social, so Instagram and LinkedIn.
Great. Yeah. So we'll put them in the show notes. But Freddie, man, thanks for coming on the Revenue Leaders podcast. Thanks for being part of our journey. Mate, we've had a pleasure working with you to this point, and we can't wait to keep working with you until you get to 1,000 customers and beyond.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me.